Hello, kids! Today, I'm going to share a very special story from a long time ago, when the Buddha was alive. It's the story of a boy who made a big mistake but learned an even bigger lesson about kindness. Once upon a time, there was a good little boy named Hinsaka. His name meant one who does no harm, and he truly was a gentle soul. His mom, Manthani, and his dad, Bhagawa, were very proud of him. Ahimsaka was smart, strong, and always well-behaved. When he grew up, his parents sent him to a famous school in a city called Taxila. Students from all over the world came there to learn. Ahimsaka was the perfect student. He studied hard, listened to his teacher, and was always friendly and helpful. His teacher thought he was wonderful, but sometimes when someone is very good at things, others can feel a little jealous. Some of the other students started telling lies about Ahimsaka to their teacher. They whispered that he was secretly disobedient and full of pride. Sadly, the teacher started to believe their untrue stories and became very angry with his best student. When it was time for Ahimsaka to graduate, the teacher, still angry, decided to give him a terrible and cruel task. He told Ahimsaka, "If you truly respect me as your teacher, you must bring me 1,000 fingers, one from each person you meet." Ahimsaka was terrified and heartbroken. How could his teacher ask him to do something so awful? But in those days, obeying your teacher was the most important thing. With a very confused and sad heart, he went into the forest. Carrying a sword, he started doing what his teacher asked, and he collected the fingers, stringing them together into a necklace. It was a horrible, scary sight. People were so afraid of him that they gave him a new name, Angulimala, which means garland of fingers. Angulimala lived alone in the dark jungle. He had very little to eat and no place to rest. He became dirty and his clothes were torn. He was suffering deeply inside, feeling trapped by the promise he had made to his teacher. He felt he had no choice but to continue. Now, every morning, the Buddha would look out into the world with his special wisdom to see if anyone needed his help. One day, he saw Angulimala. The Buddha knew that even though Angulimala had done terrible things, there was still goodness in his heart. He saw that Angulimala could change. Angulimala had collected 999 fingers. He just needed one more. He was so desperate that he thought about hurting his own mother, who had bravely come into the forest looking for him, wanting to beg him to stop. The Buddha saw that Angulimala's mother was in great danger, so, with great love and compassion, he quickly walked into the same forest, placing himself right between Angulimala and his mother. When villagers saw the Buddha walking toward the jungle, they cried out, "Please, don't go in there. Angulimala is a fearsome killer. He will harm you." But the Buddha just smiled, thanked them for their concern, and kept walking peacefully. When Angulimala saw the calm monk walking, he thought, "This will be my last finger." He grabbed his sword and started running towards the Buddha. But something strange happened. No matter how fast Angulimala ran, he couldn't catch up. The Buddha was just walking calmly, but Angulimala became exhausted and out of breath. Finally, Angulimala shouted in frustration, "Stop! Stand still!" "Monk," the Buddha turned and replied gently, "I have stopped." "Angulimala, it is you who should stop." Angulimala was confused. "What do you mean? You are still walking, and I am the one standing still. How can you say you have stopped?" The Buddha explained, "I have stopped forever from harming any living being. My heart is filled with kindness and peace. But you have not stopped causing pain and suffering." These words were like a light in the darkness. For Angulimala, for the first time in a long time, he truly understood. He realized the terrible path he was on. He threw down his sword, knelt before the Buddha, and with tears in his eyes, he asked for forgiveness. The Buddha kindly accepted him and invited him to become a monk. Angulimala's life completely changed. He shaved his head, wore simple robes, and learned to be kind, patient, and peaceful through meditation. At first, people were still scared of him, but Angulimala accepted their fear and anger calmly. He knew it was a consequence of his past actions. Even the king, who came with his army to capture the bandit, was amazed to find a peaceful monk instead. Over time, through his sincere effort, Angulimala became fully enlightened, and Arahanship, he cleared all the anger and confusion from his mind and became a source of wisdom and compassion. His story teaches us that no matter how big a mistake someone makes, it is always possible to change and choose the path of kindness. Thank you so much for listening. Friends, remember to always be kind. See you